Just knowing the fact that there's another Bradley Cooper movie coming out, Aloha, directed by Cameron Crowe, got me thinking that, oh yeah, I forgot to review this movie, although I saw it in January. I started this channel years ago, but I didn't really get into it until around April, which is pretty sad. American Sniper, directed by Clint Eastwood, written by Jason Dean Hall, based on the memoir co-authored by Chris Kyle, and it's based on the life of Chris Kyle during the time when he was like in his early years to his unfortunate death. The movie, Bradley Cooper plays Chris Kyle, and you follow him as a man who is torn apart by a man who goes to war to support his country, and he becomes the deadliest sniper in U.S. military history. But when he returns home, he's damaged by the war, and that affects the people around him. Now, I was really looking forward to this movie the year it came out. I mean, I love Eastwood. I think he's a great director. I haven't seen a lot of films from him. I've seen Fistful of Dollars. I mean, he didn't direct that, but he is really good. I thought he was great in it. I love that movie. If there's any movie that I saw that he directed that I really love, it's Unforgiven. I love that movie. It's one of my favorite westerns of all time. It's a great film with like neo-noir visual style and atmosphere, and also very gritty, and deals more with the consequences of violence rather than knowing the fact that westerns, they had a lot of violence and it didn't matter really. It was just badass. Here with Unforgiven, it's very serious, and even the movie creates statements on violence, and I like that. It works perfectly. If you've not seen the movie, you gotta see it. It's just an amazing western. Now, of course, this guy, from what I heard from Eastwood, he hasn't been doing great in this decade. I mean, he started off with Hereafter, which I heard was not very good. It was okay. Same goes for Jersey Boys. I heard Jersey Boys was better. I have not seen it, although my dad's obsessed with it. Whenever he sees it on TV, he watches it over and over again. I haven't told him what he thinks about it. I guess he said it's good. All of my grandparents have seen it. They don't really like it. They like the play better. But of course, I mean, they're retired. They get to see all the shit they want to do. They want to see. Anyways, guys, I was really looking forward to this movie. The trailers were hooking me in. But if there's one trailer that really got me in, it was the most recent trailer that came out, which is the second official trailer. That one really, really hooked me in. I was just really excited for it. And when I saw it with my friend Diego, seriously, it was a packed theater. Holy shit. I saw it the second day it got that wide release. Because it got limited release on Christmas Day. Then it had a wide release, I think, on January. I don't know. It was I think the second week of January. Whatever. But this is a film I was really looking forward to. I thought it would be a great war movie, and I was a little disappointed. But a little disappointed in terms of the hype. It was just overhyped. Though not as bad as films such as Interstellar, or like Tomorrowland, or what else I think was overhyped? Chappie, I guess? Yeah. Those are worse examples. Although actually Interstellar, I'm still debating that. American Sniper was a little disappointing. I didn't hate the film, I really liked it, but I thought it could have been better. How? Well, let's see. I mean, even though the film has some pretty good editing, some good sound design, and overall is very intense and gritty, I still felt like one of the weakest aspects of the film was really the psychological aspects of it. And what I mean is, whenever it's trying to focus on on Chris Kyle and what the trauma he's suffering from war, the psychological trauma, such as PTSD. The problem is, though, it's so basic in its insight. It's not very insightful. I've seen such great examinations of the horrors of war and how it affects a human's mind, how it damages their psyche and makes them change, become different as a person, or become different from who they originally were. Like, one of my greatest examples is Apocalypse Now. I mean, I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Francis Ford Coppola directed it. He's a legend. He did such an amazing job with the war, but, communicating the horrors of the Vietnam War to the audience. He created such an incredibly it was just haunting what I saw. This is a vision that undeniably really just unsettled me. Seriously, it's better than so many horror movies today. Seriously, I'm not joking. If you've not seen Apocalypse Now, you gotta see it. Seriously, Apocalypse Now is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's better than American Sniper. No fucking doubt. But what makes it better is because it's really how it explores the human mind and how war can just damage them, become different, become more sinister, become inhumane. Just like a war is taking away their humanity, and it's turning them into these things, these creatures, I guess you can call them, like these monsters. They don't know, they can't feel, they're damaged, and they don't know how to control themselves. That's what I like about it. And it does it in such a deep way, but it also has this poetic vibe and how it explores it. Also, it's very haunting. It just unsettled me. And to be honest, when I watched when I finished the movie, it was one of the strongest impacts a film ever had on me. That film truly impacted me, and I couldn't believe what I saw. American Sniper, on the other hand, it's tame in comparison. I mean, I know they're trying, but the problem is that they don't really explore the PTSD or any of his real psychological trauma with enough depth. There's just not a lot of depth given to it, and it came off a little bit sad. I thought that was the only real flaw I have with this movie. Some of the side characters, yeah, they're kind of there, but I thought, who is? But it's really not his story, so I guess that makes sense. But whatever. I mean, those characters didn't have a lot of depth either. That's pissed me off a little bit, but overall, there wasn't a major complaint. Really, it was just the psychological aspects of it, the psychological trauma. That was just very weak, and that was just pretty weak. Other than that, also the fake baby scene. What more do I have to say? I mean, that took me right out of the scene that was going on. I mean, they were trying. But the problem is, I was distracted by the baby. Well, I mean, fuck, man, what the fuck? You couldn't do a real baby. You had a $58.8 million budget. You seriously couldn't have gotten a real baby and use it? Because you used a real baby for that hospital scene whenever, like, she was crying when Chris freaks out and tells the doctor to take care of her, to handle her. What the hell? Aside from that, that's not a major complaint. That's just a major complaint. I mean, that's just too obvious. The fuck? Anyways, guys, that's really just nothing. It takes it down to like half a star, so like 4.5 out of 5, really. And I'm just saying, I gotta continue the review. Clint Eastwood still showed that he can direct war. He had directed war movies before with Flags of Our Fathers, which I thought was pretty good. He also made Letters from Iwo Jima. I didn't see that. I really want to. And he manages to offer up some great epic scale war sequences that are undeniably intense. I mean, they keep you on the edge of your seat throughout. And also, it helps the fact that the cast is really devoted to the material. And the material is pretty good for what it is, even if I heard there are some changes in how they portrayed Kyle. And even the Vietnam War, some people say it's like propaganda, I guess you can say that. I don't really care, though. I don't really try to be, like liberal or whatever the fuck, whatever kind of side. Like, Republican, conservative, or whatever the hell. I'm not trying to be like that. No. That just ruins it. That's just not, I don't think that's really a good idea. I think it's kind of unfair. In my opinion. But this movie does have some good action sequences. There are some very tense ones. I mean, even one in a sandstorm. How are you not on the edge of your seat? How are you not just afraid of what's going to come next? I mean, it's just incredibly tense, and they're so well done. The cinematography is good, the editing is great, and overall, it satisfies. The action sequences are pretty good. I mean, when I left, the entire theater was silent, especially including me. I mean, that movie impacted me, really impacted everybody. That's how you do it. That's the impact the movie has. If you're not silent leaving the theater, then what the hell's wrong with you? Are you insensitive? The cast is great, especially Bradley Cooper. Do I think he gives his best performance here? I think so. I mean, sure, we have Silver Linings Playbook and American Hustle, but maybe it's here with Chris Kyle. Now, I do feel like that some of the material did drag him down a little bit, especially with the psychological aspect, trauma. But overall, I thought he did pretty good for the material he had. I just thought it could have been stronger. You already know that. I'm pissed off at that. But overall, I thought it was good for what it is. Also, I'm invested in this. I mean, with his portrayal of Chris Kyle, Bradley Cooper makes Chris Kyle a very sympathetic soldier. I'm with him throughout this journey. I mean, we praise him for taking responsibility and for taking action in defending our country. But also, you really feel sorry for him with all the trauma he's going through. You're just afraid what's going to happen next. I mean, is he going to what's going to happen around all this. What's this? Is he going to do something that you don't want, that you would never expect him to do, that's out of character? You just don't really know. And Cooper makes it believable. I mean, he leaves me invested in the story, but he also keeps the film going, and really just leaves, and it just never holds up. Okay, sure, at times psychological trauma. Yeah, I know. But overall, it does work. He does it perfectly. He did a fantastic job. He was great. The other characters like Sienna Miller as Talia, Kyle, like Chris's wife, now widow. Rest in peace, Chris Kyle. You were a hero. She's good as Telly. I mean, I do believe her as a wife. I mean, I really am convinced that she is a wife that's just, you know, she's broken. She's heartbroken by the fact her husband is going to war, and she doesn't know if he's going to live or die. You know, he's going to come back or not. And of course, the trauma that's happening to him. I mean, the fact that he's falling apart, and he just doesn't feel it, and now he's just no longer human. Human, really. He's just no longer human. And I really felt for her. I mean, she was a person that was really damaged by this. Also, the ending is very impactful. I mean, it's hard not to be emotional during this. I mean, the fact they're playing, like, was it tap? No, it's not taps, but I know I forgot what piece they were playing. Complo, if you know what it is. But it honored him as a hero. This movie is and also the use of, like, actual footage and overall, like, photos, like, praising this guy and, like, honoring him for the hero that he was. This movie, while has its flaws in terms of exploration of psychological trauma, and some side characters being almost there, it overall is a great tribute to an American hero, and it has a fantastic performance from Bradley Cooper. Clint Eastwood manages to show that he can make a good movie in this decade, and some good battle sequences, a good visual style, very gritty, very powerful. Although there are some problems with the fake baby scene, also. The movie gets a 4.5 out of 5. I really liked it, but I was a little let down. The hype really put my expectations way too high. Anyways, guys, that's my review for American Sniper. Comment below. What did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you have some problems with it? Did you notice the fake baby scene? Seriously, could you obviously tell it was a fake baby? And what other war movies have you seen that you think are, like, do you think they're better than this? Do you think they're on par? Do you think they're not as good? Just comment below what are your favorite war movies, really? Comment below. My favorite is Apocalypse Now. I also like Full Metal Jacket, Saving Private Ryan. Fear, I guess, was good, but it's not all that great. There are some things with it that I didn't really find all that great. Flashback Files, I guess, is good, but it's nothing close. But it's kind of like on par with American Sniper in some way. I don't know. Those are just really my choices for, like, war movies that I really like. Comment below yours and subscribe to my channel for more videos.